The one marketing skill that I think everyone, regardless of form or department or function, is storytelling, full stop. Whether it's pitching new people on a strategy, influencing senior leadership, or rallying employees behind something, the ability to communicate and tell a story is priceless. People remember stories. It resonates on an emotional level, and it's in my book, it's a non-negotiable. So the best marketers win the hearts of people before their minds, and I think HR leaders can do the same. A handful of years ago, marketers had to get comfortable with dealing with ambiguity and stopping to pretend that they could forecast every twist and turn in the market, whether it was the pandemic, whether it was supply chain shortages, whether it's just the volatility of the global economy right now. So instead, we built systems that respond quickly. And I think HR needs to do the same. There's less certainty. So we need better feedback loops. Forget the 5-year plans, shift into more of a 5-day pilot. And I think that shift from predicting to sensing will serve HR leaders going forward. My favorite mental model or framework is something called inversion. It's simple, it's powerful, and I think it's immediately actionable. And inversion is not just asking, how do we reach, from an HR standpoint, how do we reach or retain top talent, but instead it's how do we ensure that we're not unintentionally losing top talent? And the answer to that question will help expose blind spots faster than most engagement tools. So how do we ensure that we're not pushing people away? And I think if HR leaders can answer that question and invert their process and their thinking, that'll provide new and different answers that will help them guide their organizations today and in the future. Often I think HR leaders and marketers as well often skip the why. Too often strategy becomes a set of activities. In marketing, we call it random acts of marketing. But on a larger sense, that set of just activities could be restructuring, hiring, deploying technology. But the best strategy is a system. It answers not just why, what we're doing, but why now, why this way. And without that clarity, the strategy becomes just busy work. The other piece that kind of layers into this is communication. So like if there's an idea for how an organization should respond to the market, and that idea starts within a small group of senior leaders, and they start kind of figuring out, hey, what if we did this? What if we did that? And it leads to maybe a new product launch, maybe a shift in strategy, maybe a reorganization. There's a journey, and there's a kind of some tactical things that happen along the way. And if we don't answer why are we doing this and communicate that why to the rest of the organization, it's harder for the rank and file, the people that we rely on to get stuff done, to get behind that idea, that shift in strategy, that movement of people or talent or introduction of a new product, because they don't understand the why. And often it's because the people that are starting with that seed of an idea are skipping over, why are we doing this? It's just kind of it might be a bright, shiny object or something that seems cool that everyone else is doing it. But if we don't stop and ask ourselves, why are we doing this? Why now? Why does it make sense for our organization to embark on this new change or this new endeavor? Then it's a house of cards, and everything kind of crumbles from there. I think context and being contextual. So much of what we see and is happening in corporations across the globe right now is digital and AI, but it's it's not just digital. It's not just about moving fast, but it's staying attuned to the moment. What's going on in your organization, in the culture? What constraints do you have? What um, what market forces are impacting your teams, both at a macro level and at a micro or local level? And that context, also tied into the why, helps inform what you're doing, why you're doing it, and ensuring that if you're going to be and stay agile as an HR organization or a marketing organization, it grounds everything. I would say their ability to absorb ambiguity. Oftentimes I think that marketing could do more and better with more data, but I kind of think that HR even gets less data than marketing does. So HR has to deal with the least amount of data, but the most emotion, the most kind of often some of the vaguest mandates, yet they show up with solutions, and not just kind of the drama or challenges that kind of go along with that. And so their ability to handle high pressure situations, in the face of a lot of ambiguity, is an area that I think HR leaders and HR departments across the globe deserve more credit for. Oh, culture with employees, hands down. And if the culture within if the internal culture is weak or falls apart, then the brand is not as strong as it could be, because the brand is an extension of every touch point that a prospect or a customer has with that organization. And if the employees themselves don't believe in and buy into what is going on at that organization, the products, the services they're delivering, the direction, the vision that they're going, and everything kind of wrapped around that and into that word that we use, culture. Um, it's all gonna fall apart. And so, as HR leaders and marketers, I look to the organization's culture as a key jumping off point for building the brand. So culture is harder to build, and it takes a lot longer than even building a brand does. A product designer, they obsess over the user journey. They test, iterate, and refine, and they balance form and function. And so, what's important for HR leaders is they adopt that same mindset. They design for how people actually behave, and not how we wish they would. And so, they're also implementing that testing and iterating and refining as part of that. And I want to tuck a little storytelling in there as well, because I think that'll help grease the skids and make a lot of even the product design stuff work better, faster, and smarter.